everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and tonight I am getting started on fall seed sowing. Now, last week I took a few minutes to do my favorite thing in the world, order seeds, and I did a big order from Johnny's. They just have so many really cool varieties that I've had a lot of success with in the past. And what I've decided this year is that I'm going to do more than I usually do because I want to try to be able to offer some interesting, not so common varieties available for sale during my fall open garden on Saturday, 9 October from noon to 4 p.m. So, what did I order? I ordered Costa Apricot Snapdragon, Mount Helena Viola, Penny All Season Mix Viola, Sorbet Formula Viola, Pulsar Sweet Pea, Madame Butterfly Bronze Snapdragon, Elegance Formula Sweet Pea, Madame Butterfly Ivory Snapdragon, Kelvin Open Pollinated Hybrid Celery. Actually, I'm not sure how that can be open pollinated and still be a hybrid. A hybrid kohlrabi called Bees, Marathon Broccoli, Green Magic Broccoli, Gypsy Broccoli, Wildfire Lettuce Mix, and a hybrid turnip called Hackerii, which I think from a picture I was super intrigued by. So these are everything that I'm going to sow in these flats here. These are actually 4 packs, so they're really easy to just split, and that's how I'll be selling everything by the 4-pack. And the process is really simple. I've just gotten a traditional potting mix with fertilizer embedded in it. I'm gonna fill these trays, and then I'm just going to dibble a small hole, drop the seeds in the middle, water them in, and wait for them to germinate. I have my cell packs filled, I have watered the soil in, and now I'm just going to make a dibble in the center of each cell. For these are 4 packs and the trays hold 32. And I'm going to start with the cool season flowers, things like snapdragons and violas, and then move into the cool season edibles, very specifically all those different varieties of broccoli. Now, I've already gotten a head start on fall seed sowing. You can see I have already done around 1 tray of broccoli, cauliflower, and kohlrabi. And some of these will be intended for my garden, and others will be intended for the sale on Saturday, October 9th. So on the violas in particular, you can see the seeds are really small. They're stuck right up here and here. So you have to be really careful when you're sowing them. I only want to do 2 per hole. And these just came out when I was trying to open the package. It's not that it's terribly hot, it's just that there's no breeze and it feels like a sauna. I am sweating profusely and everything has gotten wet as a result of this atmosphere. So I'm actually going to take my gloves off and do this with as much care as I possibly can so that I don't waste the seeds. Put both of those into that cell. I was hoping to order larger quantity, but a lot of it was on back order. So I have ordered smaller, like retail amounts, even though I would have liked to have placed a wholesale order. And you can see most of these seeds have actually made their way right up to the top, so you just want to do it as gently as you can. You don't want all the seeds to spill. It's of no advantage for you to overseed the cells. Then you either have to transplant them out or the plants themselves don't actually mature as well. So you're much better off to be very careful about how you go about sowing these seeds. I'm almost wondering if there would be a benefit to me putting them in a different container. There's quite a few in here still, but the paper is so wet. Maybe just put them in my hand. Okay, the final step is just going to be to add a little bit of soil on top of each of these trays, just to fill in the holes, make sure the seed has good contact with the soil. I'll water everything in, and then hopefully within the next 2 weeks, all of these different plants will start to germinate, and fall will be on its way. Now, some general seed sowing advice. I recommend using or reusing plastic trays that you've purchased from garden centers. If you have them and they're in rough shape, by all means throw those away. But it's a great way to be able to have single-use plastic get used more than one time. I often will actually seed directly in compost, but because I'm planning to keep these in trays until the middle of October, I think I'm going to be better off with a well-draining potting mix that has fertilizer embedded. And that's just ultimately going to mean that I don't have to fertilize these trays nearly as frequently as I would if I was using a compost without embedded fertilizer. Now you see, I am sowing these in my greenhouse or my shade house, which is 50% shade cloth. And generally at this time of year, here in North Carolina, central area, zone 7, it's really hot. So putting these out in full sun is actually not going to be to your benefit. So if you don't have a shade house, just put your trays in an area that is more shady than sunny, and make sure that it's conveniently located for watering. These are basically going to need to be watered every day that it doesn't rain. Remember, it's August 1st. These aren't going to be planted in the garden until at least the middle of October. But more realistically for me, any of these that are left over aren't going to get planted until sometime after the 1st of November. So I have to keep these in trays for a long time before they're actually going to be kind of planted and more capable of living without my constant assistance. Now, the key for transplanting is waiting until your seedlings are rooted all the way through so that when you tug on the cell, none of the soil breaks off. And generally that's going to be no less than 6 weeks from sowing. So I will definitely give you updates on all of these things as they start to germinate and grow over the next 4, 6, 8 weeks, so that you can do this process right along with me and grow some of your own plants so you won't actually have to buy them this fall at garden centers. So again, I did a mix of flowers, things like violas or pansies and snapdragons, along with brassica crops, broccoli, cauliflower, kohlrabi. I also did some celery. I purposely decided not to do any cabbage at this time. I've decided I'm just going to purchase small amounts of cabbage from garden centers instead of growing out whole trays myself. And I'm still waiting on my lettuce and mustards and kales to come in on a different seed order. So I will be sowing seeds really probably every week for the next probably 6 to 8 weeks. So now that I have my greenhouse filled, I'll be moving into some other zones that I have available for me for growing seeds out. So I do look forward to giving you updates on all of these seed projects. Now is the time to get started for your fall crops here in Zone 7. And if you found this video to be helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Be sure to hit that bell notification so you'll know when I post another video. And thanks so much for watching, everybody.